What up, man? Listen, home, by popular demand, Pnoid's now selling merch. Man, look here, all right? We got 3 designs. We got the Pnoid Gorilla regular avatar. We have the Red Dead Redemption. And on top of that, man, listen, we got motherfucking Angry Gorilla, all right? We got t-shirts. We have onesies for your baby. Take your baby and turn it into a baby gorilla. On top of that, we got pillows. Come cuddle up with the gorilla. And on top of that, we got cell phones and mugs. Cop you some merch right now.
All right, Tom P, we are live.
What up, and welcome to motherfucking Pnoid Live, man. Listen, yo, finally, you got the both of us on the goddamn show. It's been like 3 stinking weeks and shit, but it's all right. We've been banging out and hustling and handling business. So, with me tonight, as always, as it's supposed to be, my bottom bitch, my partner, my muse, the only YouTuber with dazzle kneecaps. Motherfucking accelerate. What's going on, man?
Man, I just needed a break from doing internet things. Like getting on YouTube streams. I was getting on too many of them, man. It was like Tuesday, Wednesday, I'd get on some stream. Thursday, then like Friday, I'd get on Irate stream. Saturday, I'd get on the Insomnia stream. I was just like, this is too much, man. I'm not that social. Like, here's a secret. I don't actually like streaming that much. I've said this a billion times. I don't even know how I became a YouTuber. Oh yeah, Tom P. That's why.
Yeah, like, yo, for some, like, I think I'm now part of Gaming and Yelling stream. I think I'm his co-host. Somehow that fucking happened.
Oh yeah, that was another one that I kept getting on, was Gaming and Yelling stream.
Yo, it's
I was
a great
playing
stream.
League of Legends with him. Yeah, I'm just saying it was too much. I had a bunch of work shit going on, so I was just like, I gotta just not worry about this stream bullshit or my YouTube, the YouTube career that we don't really have, because YouTube's never going to pay us because we have the wrong opinions. In fact, that appeal finally went through. Well, it got rejected for that video you put in 8 weeks ago. And I gave them, so it was for glorifying violence when it came to the El Paso shooting. That's why you got the strike. Yeah, even though you condemned violence 3 or 4 times in that video, right? You even said stuff about, yeah, we shouldn't really talk about the name of the shooter, but I think it's important we go over and understand why. Your only crime is having the unpopular opinion that maybe part of the reason people are doing this is because they don't feel they have anywhere to redress their grievances.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you did, right? Apparently, the only opinion you can have is that he was just an evil son of a bitch, which, I mean, maybe, but it brings me back to a quote Christopher Hitchens had about religion, right? He's like, we live in a world where you have good people and bad people. Good people usually do good things. Bad people will always do bad things. But for good people to do bad things, it takes religion. Now, I think that you can kind of take that. It takes having some sort of just ideological belief system instilled into you that convinces you that something that any other person, like most normal people that aren't indoctrinated in this, would never really think of, to think that it's morally justified.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, let's be perfectly real here. You know what I'm saying? The difference between a hero and a maniac just depends on, like, fucking, your opinion about the reasons why what they're doing, the reasons why of what they're doing. That's really it. Like, like, we talk about the Japanese kamikaze pilots, like, oh man, they're crazy fuckers or the Muslim extremists. But if you're a Japanese person in the 1940s, or if you're a fucking Muslim extremist, if you're like a hardcore Muslim person who believes in all the bullshit they believe in, they're a fucking hero to you.
Yeah, like, if you believe there's this supreme being that your eternity rests upon, and that you doing a suicide bombing is going to guarantee entrance and rewards in the afterlife, if you honestly believe that, then it makes perfect sense to do the things that they do.
Right, and The thing is I'm not like standing here saying any of these individuals are right about anything they're fucking doing. But on the same point, and I mean, like, I think like it's important that we look at individuals and have an opportunity to see, like, maybe there are individuals in our society who are being forgotten, and we don't let those people at the bottom become too goddamn restless. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because that
not only are they forgotten, but if they say anything, they're just going to be written off as you Nazi, you bigot, and they're going to be banned from polite society.
Yeah, which makes them worse because that extremizes everything even on an even worse level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of the point I was getting to is like, yo, look, you have to have some place to be able to redress your fucking grievances, and you have to feel like people are giving a fuck and listening to what the hell it is you're actually saying and the reasons why you're upset.
And then, you know, with everything being so digitized and most human communication going on you know, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, when you ban them off these platforms, they just go someplace else where the only people left to talk to are the actual Nazis. Like, that's...
Like, you're putting all the people in the same belief structure in one area. You're going to end up, like, having the motherfuckers get more polarized.
I don't know.
Over here eating some motherfucking dinner and shit. I got a loaded baked potato and a motherfucking steak in front of me. God damn it. Fucking hell yes. You know what I mean? But like, yo, because it was payday yesterday, so you know how that one operates.
Well, and then also,
like, it's just, what up?
I would say also in the YouTube fuckery world, but go on.
But yeah, man, like, yo, I can't stand here and, you know, how do I put this, man? Like, I don't like having people on the goddamn edges of fucking society looking in, because I know those are the people who are going to end up like coming after the rest of the society as they're successful. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the situation. Oh, DB Cooper, why don't you have a fucking wrench, my brother? Here.
Already fixed it.
You already got it. Like, why doesn't he have a wrench? He should have a wrench already. Yeah, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And on top of that, like, yo, I mean, like, this kind of ties into like the shit I wanted to like fucking have a conversation about too. I was telling you before we started streaming. Like, I was sitting there, I had to have a talk with my pops today, right? And I mean, I was sitting there trying to explain to him, I'm like, look, you know, I mean, like, we're at the point in fucking society where like the government and corporations have taken over shit and taken control of shit to the point of where all those old like mechanics and, you know what I mean, fucking like guys who do construction and roofing and plumbing and electrical, they can't survive today because they're going to be inspected by somebody. And you know what I'm saying? Right? You have to sit here and like fucking bow down to what they say because they have that much fucking power. Right? And that's kind of like the same type of fucking thing where, you know, like, you just do what the fuck it is you're told to do and take the goddamn money at this point. Like, you don't ask any fucking questions. You don't argue about stupid shit. You don't go through any extracurricular nonsense. You just do what it is that you're told to fucking do. You know what I mean? Like, it's on that, it's on that level at this point. And there's no place left for you to just, you know what I mean, like, fucking be a man and hide. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's the long dick of the state will find you everywhere.
Yeah, there's legitimately like nothing left. You know, I mean, there's no place left for, like, you know, I mean, them old motherfuckers to hide him. Like, because my pops was having an argument about a deck he built with a dude, right? And he's like, this inspector came through and he said I had to do this and this and this and this and this. And he goes, I was like, well, fucking just do what he told you to do and take the goddamn money. And he's like, and he's standing here and he's going, no, it's fucking wrong. And I was like, well, I don't give a fuck if it's right or wrong, motherfucker. Like, yo, just make the goddamn money. Like, that's all that fucking matters. You know what I mean? When it really comes down to it, like, that's all that you should really give a fuck about, is that the money's fucking being put into your bank account. You know what I mean? Because that's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. You know, like, fucking, bro, like, you can't do things the old way anymore. You just got to do them by the book and go on about your business, because people think individuals with college degrees are more important than the individuals who actually know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? Who are actually doing the goddamn work. And they'd much rather have a replaceable goddamn employee than somebody who knows what they're doing, because, you know what I mean, fucking, they want shit done their fucking way. They don't want to have to be beholden to some fucking, you know what I mean, hourly fucking wage guy.
Yeah, it's the world we live in, man. handing out the black pills. It's only gonna get darker.
It will, you know. Well, it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
I just mean within the next 2 hours, but yeah.
What do you mean within the next 2 hours? Like, yeah, it's only going to get darker.
We got some
shitty ass stories to cover. So where you want to go from here, my friend?
We could jump right into the unequal justice under the law.
Well, which one's that?
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we've got there's a few things going on, right? So,
right.
Yeah, the same leftist all this leftist bullshit. It's not just like censorship on Twitter. It's bleeding into the legal system, and we've seen it, right? So, I'll just go ahead and bring it up.
We're going to that VDare article?
No, I'm going to Andy Knows Twitter.
Okay. Right. So, like, yo, who was it? It was the fucking American flag fucking truck and shit that ended up like backing out and almost hit a whole bunch of people, but they charged him with reckless driving and shit.
Yeah, so they finally cleared him.
What we doing, man? Come on, man. Don't be having motherfucking dead air on the goddamn
train. Hold on. Yeah, so that's what happened, right? Here's the video. I have it up on stream. Right? So Antifa just went and they surrounded his vehicle and beat on it and shit, and he just hit reverse, got the fuck out of there, and the Portland prosecutor, which is obviously a far left Democrat, wanted to throw the book at him as far as they could, and the news was covering it like this could have been Charlottesville 2.0, right? Because it turns out people might get fucking ran over if you're in the middle of the street surrounding vehicles.
Let me ask you something, right? With that Charlottesville thing, would it have been as bad if it wasn't a woman?
Maybe. I don't know. I think Charlottesville's the best thing that happened to the left in recent memory, because they can just keep going back to it. They pretend to give a shit about the girl that died, but all they really care about is being able to throw it into their face and be like, look, see, they really are just violent Nazis, even though it's not true, really. That's not what happened.
Yo, man, I'll be real. Like, I was upset today. I had some people out here blocking traffic in my fucking city and shit, right? Yeah, Cass agrees with me, right? He said it wouldn't have been if it was the guy who got ran over.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
No, I see. That's the problem. So I would say that would be true if it wasn't for the fact that you're talking about far right activist runs over protester, right? I think that trumps everything right now. Anything they can do to paint, the right and MAGA, or even these. I mean, I don't like these people. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with them on basically anything. I mean, maybe a few things, right? A lot of them are anti-war.
I have a question. I got a question for you, right? You remember fucking that female out in, I think she was out in San Francisco. She got shot in the head by like a Mexican who was like shooting seals with the gun he found with the illegal immigrant.
No, but go on.
You don't remember this? It was like a big case and shit, like fucking... they tried to stop the illegal immigrant from getting motherfucking like deported and shit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's common, right? They
you remember
an illegal immigrant does something wrong, then they're just like, well, we got to protect the illegal immigrant.
Right. Do you remember remember that girl that went missing down in the goddamn Caribbean and shit, and they charged those two Swedish like princes with some shit? Oh shit, man.
No, I do remember that one.
Fuck, my nigga Rackets out there, right? You remember that broad who motherfucking went missing down and like she was down somewhere in the Caribbean and shit? It was like they charged two like Danish or Swedish guys or some shit with that fucking crime.
Yeah.
All right, now I want you to think about this. When is the last time you heard about a black guy getting murdered by a fucking illegal immigrant Mexican, or a black dude fucking standing here having some like fucking bad shit happen to him by one of these fucking protesters?
Dude, you don't have to convince me about the centrism, right?
Like,
But
yo.
I just like the media has their priorities, right? And right at the very top, right above what I say virtue signaling for minorities is doing everything they can do to smear or tie anything bad to anybody remotely right wing.
Like I feel some sort of kind of way about the fact that like, can we bring up the next story, because like this is a fucking fucking Jordan Vandersloot, right? Yeah, I know that. That's a hilarious name, right? Motherfucking prime mover. Let me say hi to the chat. We haven't done that, Popping hot, prime mover, Rackus, beyond my purview. What up, blue collar Canuck? Goddamn DB Cooper, MGTOW Warrior, my motherfucking nigga Victor Frankenstein's out there. Golden Bonnie, Cats, Warfox, my brother. How you doing? Radical Rick, what up, man? Motherfucking Blue Healer, how the hell you doing, man? Been a minute since I seen you out there and shit. Actually, now you come out all the regular basis. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Talbot Links, Karen Reeves. You know what I'm saying? It's really appreciated. EDM, what up? Dude, look, only reason we grow is because everybody's out here telling people, and we appreciate everyone out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sharing our shit out and telling people and getting the word out. Evil Dead Ed, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to say, fuck Pantera. You know what I'm saying? To Evil Dead Ed. Fucking Pink Hollow, the driving 8-man. What up, man? How the fuck you doing, dude? Been a minute since I've been on the fucking stream with you. Reality Radio, how the hell you doing? And Victor Rand, my brother, as always, it's great to see you out here, man. Real shit. But anyway, Vash, what up, man? You know what I'm saying? And anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the situation. What the hell? What we talk? Oh, yeah, fucking, man, look. Well, I'd like to get into this next article, right? That we had to be one of the start, one of the
so
coverage.
I think that one needs a little bit of context. I think we should you should hop in the My Circle and we should play the 5-minute clip from Gavin McInnes, where he explains everything that happened around that infamous Antifa fight. Where
how am I gonna hop into My Circle that I don't have?
I thought I fucking sent it to you.
No, man, you sent me the goddamn fucking Jordan Peterson joint. Or not Jordan, Gavin McInnes joint. You sent me the video.
All right. I sent you the My Circle. But yeah, like it needs a little bit of context, because it's not just Portland that's continuously throwing the book at right wingers and letting lefties off. Right, like the prosecutors seem very sympathetic to their causes. That's exactly what happened surrounding that Antifa fight. So let's go ahead and
here, let's talk. What up, man? Motherfucker, we love your ass out here, man. Know that, thank you very much for commenting on all these videos. And I mean, like, it's not gonna get them put in the algorithm because YouTube hates us.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's always beautiful seeing y'all out here, knowing y'all are watching the videos, and I love seeing all your comments. That's why I show y'all love on every one of them, because Tom Pease gives a fuck about his audience. That's how this operates. But anyway, let's rock, man.
What about the Antifa fight? Why isn't anyone talking about that? On October 12th, I did a talk at the Manhattan Republican Club, and it was hilarious. Very multicultural crowd, too. Old, young, gay, black, white. Outside, there was rich white kids who were pissed off and screaming Nazi at us. My set that night was basically just making fun of Antifa, and the humorless alt-left outside wasn't having it. They had been harassing the venue for a week. They glued the locks shut. They smashed the windows. They left a manifesto on the door saying, "We are not civil," Hillary's quote. This is only the beginning. And they harassed all the people, even old ladies who were coming in to see my talk. While I was in there making everyone laugh, there was a reporter outside. And Antifa sensed that he might be pro-Trump. So they beat the shit out of him. And they stole his equipment. Now, the police managed to get there. They caught 3 of this mob: Kai Russo, Finbar Slonim, and Caleb Perkins. I realize Kai and Finbar, who now goes by Solange, don't look very intimidating, but you have to understand they were just stupid and weak enough to get caught. The rest of the mob filtered out. They're led by this guy, Angel, who was on his phone all night calling the shots. Caleb Perkins fought the cops when he was arrested, and he's fought the cops before. That's his trademark. About 2 years earlier, he was at a Black Lives Matter.
Not first say I hate Gavin McInnes. All right, like legitimately, I think he is a worthless bag of shit individual.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard you say this before. I think he's fucking hilarious.
Okay, here's my problem with Gavin McInnes. First off, he's out here e-begging right now. All right, I don't like motherfuckers that e-bag. Like, go out here and make some goddamn money and handle your fucking business.
What, is he
Being a
e-bagging?
bitch.
Who's asking for
he's
money?
e-bagging. Oh, yeah. He's out here talking about how, like, he's now going to be in the poorhouse and all this type of shit.
No,
because, like,
he's got another career. He says he's good. I just watched an episode today.
Nah, fucking like, yo,
The chat's against you. We got an I love Gavin. Gavin is the shit, bro. I don't care what the fuck I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Willis. Right?
Yo, look, Gavin is a bum ass nigga. All right, get nothing misunderstood. I'm not a fucking fan of goddamn Gavin McGinnis. All right, like, yo, he's just not that fucking dude. He's really not. But he's really not. And he's Canadian on top of that, all right? And I don't trust fucking Canadians. Yo. All on YouTube ask for money. Yo, but here's the thing though, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, yo, we ask for money because YouTube, like, refuses to monetize us, and we have no way for motherfucking, like, to do shit.
He asks for money because he spends $400 a week drinking Knob Creeks at the bar.
Yeah. Like, Gavin's, he's just not. He's not that dude that everybody thinks he is. And, like, yo, he rolled over on his homies the moment motherfucking, like, shit went sideways.
No, he fucking didn't. That's not what happened. He rolled on him. No, he didn't. Are you talking about when he left? Yeah. Do you know why he left? Do you know why he said he's stepping down as chair of the Proud Boys?
Why?
Because he was advised by multiple lawyers that it would help their case if he just left the Proud Boys, because then they wouldn't have a leader to point at and they couldn't charge him with the gang stuff. Like, he never really, it's like, this is what the law's saying, so I guess I'm going to do this so that their lawyers have a better case. He didn't get it. That's literally, I think he's a Proud Boy again because it didn't fucking matter. I think he actually talks about it in this little clip.
All right, well, let's keep going. See if he's
a Matter rally where he elbowed a cop in the face. But whenever these far left foot soldiers of the DNC get in trouble, magical Antifa lawyer fairies just seem to appear. And in the case of Caleb, the 2 years ago, what's her name? Moira Meltzer-Cohen showed up. She describes herself as someone who believes the relationship between law and justice is shaped by my commitment to radical social movements. She uses the pronouns she and they. And so if you're talking about it, you say they are admitted to practice law in New York State. So they also represented Antifa stalwart Chelsea Manning, who, along with Vic Berger, doxed Cernovich's Night for Freedom, wherein Antifa quickly showed up and beat a Jewish man within an inch of his life because they thought he was a Nazi. So
I'll be real with you.
The journalist who was attacked, he shows up in court. He wants them prosecuted. Nothing happens. No media attention. No reputations tarnished. No criminal records. Zero punishment for this hate crime. They beat him up because they assumed that he was a Trump supporter, and they robbed him.
Yeah. All charges drop. I know they brought up the lawyer, but it's not just the lawyer, dude. It's the prosecutors and the judges, right? They're like, oh, they were just, they were trying to do the right thing, fighting the evil Nazis. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, I know that. I'm gonna tell you what. When I got charged with my shit, right? Like the second step, like after fucking like filing the actual charges, is getting together a press release for shit, right? And I feel like they didn't do this. Because everybody would have been on that shit immediately.
Well, the news didn't really give a shit about this story, right? Because it didn't tell the story of, far right activists, start violent fight. Right? It's the opposite. It's the leftist that beat and robbed a dude because he might be a Trump supporter. Beat and robbed. It's not like they just fucking. It wasn't a mutual street where just people ran in at each other. It was it was A dude just standing around getting fucking mugged.
Like, yo,
No charges.
Again, all right, so why weren't we on this? It's kind of like, why were none of us like fucking on this at all? I mean, like, I know
because you
Newsweek
can't.
and all these
Well, no, like you could barely find these stories. In fact, that last story that I have to follow up on this,
yeah,
you're not going to find it if you Google it. You're not going to find anything from VDare, even though Ann Coulter is a part of VDare and whatnot. So it's not like it's probably about as fringe as you can go before you're outside the Overton window.
really? Because I thought we were pretty fringe.
Well, I think we use foul language. They at least talk nice over there.
Ooh. Well, no, I mean we. You know, I mean, like we're pretty far out on the edge here. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like people are sharing these articles everywhere because nobody can fucking find them.
Oh, Jesus, man! Like I feel like 4chan. Like, what happened to 4chan? Why are they not giving us this shit anymore?
I don't know. They pick their fights. They probably think they can't win this one. Also, they hate the Proud Boys, so.
Well, most of us do. That's kind of the fucking point. Like, yo, I'm not a huge fan of the fucking Proud Boys either. I'm really not. Like, I like the idea of going out and brawling with Antifa in the streets. Like, I do like the accelerationist action of that. I mean, just because I'm like, fuck it, let's get this bitch the fuck over with. For fuck's sake, I'm tired of waiting. But on the same point, it's just, man, listen, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, there's something about them that rubs me the wrong. I feel like they're the opposite side of the coin of Antifa. It's kind of the deal.
Yeah, but they're a reaction, and they shouldn't exist. And this is another thing people and the left just forgets, right? History didn't start at Charlottesville. History started, with the far left violence getting out of control and cities allowing it to happen. That shit goes back to Ben Shapiro at MU, Milo at Berkeley, right? Like, you have people that are just trying to show up to these things that aren't even far right by any means. I mean, they can call it that, but it's not. And they're like, you see women getting fucking beaten, old men getting beaten, kids getting beaten, people getting bashed with bike locks, so the Proud Boys were a response. They're like, well, if the cops aren't going to protect you, we'll show up and we'll do the dirty work.
Right.
That's what happened with the Proud Boys. That's why they became a thing. And do they sometimes start shit? Yeah, I'm sure they do. I know they do. In fact, I know somebody tried to, one of the Andy No videos was showed him. He was walking around while Patriot Prayer was talking about how Antifa's around the corner, and one guy was, talking about how he was ready for a fight and stuff. Really, it just like they know if they walk that way, shit's gonna get started. They know for a fact. They tried to say it was like a planned attack, but no, it was more like they hate us, we hate them, and if we run into each other, we're going to fight, but we're also not going to stop walking where we're walking just because Antifa's over there. So, anyway,
Tanuki, wait. Tanuki, welcome, Avalanche, and Existential Nightmare, welcome, and Blue Collar Canuck. I was going to say, like, we can go the whole way back to, like, the Russian Revolution with this shit.
Yeah. So we didn't start, and we're still nowhere close to the European Antifa, but we didn't start getting these militant activists. But part of the reason is we used to fucking enforce the law, right? You have people doing shit like that. You fucking riot police come out and beat the shit out of them.
Well, yeah. That's what happened up in fucking Boston and shit. Like Boston tried to start all that retarded ass nonsense and like, motherfucker, they got shut down immediately.
Yeah. Just following up to Brandon Massera is, Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, I get what they're trying to do. I don't like it when they purposely go antagonize Antifa. Like, I know that in this case, it wasn't really them showing up on their events. They were just walking down the streets, but it's an imaging thing, right? You don't want the image of you guys showing up, yelling profanities, getting in their face, like, daring them to do stuff. It's just not a good look. And I don't mean that in the smug way. I mean it in an optics way. Like, if you're trying to show that you guys are peaceful and you just want to be able to express your ideas in these cities without being, violently attacked, I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the natural born shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just the fucking like the the organic type of motherfucking like shit, right? I really do like fucking how you have like when I'll tell you what, back when we had Occupy Wall Street, right? Like before it was always some leftist nonsense, but at one point, like there was, a couple of us mixed in there. There was Ron Paul guys and shit who were like end of Fed, and then we all left because we were like, I don't know what this jazz hand bullshit's about. But fucking
yeah,
like there was
nobody did back then. It was a new concept to most of us.
Yeah, we were like, no.
Remember back in 2008, we thought we could have a coalition with the left wing on things like anti-war and anti-bank oligarchies and things like that. Yeah, we didn't. It turns out we didn't understand what they stood for at all.
No, we had no idea that like this was going to be the end game, right? But fucking. So like, here's my mentality, right? I like the fucking organic shit. Like during Occupy Wall Street, there were people out there like marching or whatever. And there was this giant ass fucking Iraqi vet who came out of nowhere who like started shouting down the fucking police who were out here like fucking like pushing people around and being dicks to people who were pretty much being fucking peaceful and shit. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like the idea of a homegrown type of resistance. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, like, if you know this shit's happening in your town, you should be out in the fucking streets doing what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, legitimately, like, you should be out here doing what it is you need to fucking do. Like, yo, Victor, I understand where you're at, right? Like, yo, I kind of brought up that point earlier. Like, just take your money and go. But, like, if that's kind of the situation, like, if you have the ability, you should be able to stand here and, like, fucking go out and get in the fucking people's faces and be a protester and get the fuck involved. Like legitimately, like that should be you should do to defend your neck of the woods. Like I don't want to see people pipe the fuck in like from goddamn fucking Connecticut and fucking New Hampshire and like upstate New York. I don't want the Proud Boys in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, so a lot of that is so a lot of the people that are showing up to those things are from Portland. But the people showing up, they're kind of doing it on behalf of people that are just kind of sick of Antifa running their town. I mean, what do you do when the issue is that you have a group of left-wing violent activists going around that businesses are afraid of to the point where they'll just put like random Trump shit in their window just to make sure their windows don't get smashed out. And they just keep getting away with it. The city has no interest in dealing with them whatsoever. I mean, what else can you do besides hold events and bring in numbers for safety? I don't get it. I don't know what other way they have to draw attention to this. Like eventually,
what up, my nigga?
Like eventually, like you hope that eventually, even in Portland, as left as it is, eventually people will be reasonable and just be like, look, I don't care what it takes to stop the violence in the street, but Mayor, you need to stop this shit or you're going to get out. Like you're fired. We're going to elect somebody else. I think that's the intention of all of this, especially in Portland.
Yo, what's up, Dark Star? What up, Payne? How the fuck you doing? Welcome, my brothers. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? And Matt Tanuki, you know what I'm saying? Nice seeing you out here tonight. You know what I mean? We'll talk to you tomorrow or some shit, whatever the case might be.
Anyway, let's get to the flip side of this video. So it's just the last half.
Those are felonies. When you beat the crap out of someone in a mob and take their stuff, especially a journalist, that's a felony. 0 charges. Conversely, at the end of the night, Antifa were dispersed. They went around the block.
6 individuals circled the block and came 82nd Street, Lexter Park to try to intercept the group.
They formed a human wall. They whipped a bottle of piss at Proud Boys. One of them, Max Hare, ran up, took off his mask. They demasked them all. You can see what they look like here. And the police showed up and said, do you want to press charges? The Antifa, who had just been beaten up for attacking them, said, fuck you, pig. Alrighty then. There's nothing to do here. There's no victims. When you have an assault charge, you're supposed to have hospital records and police reports. No victims, no crime. They said, get lost, pig, we're fine. But this had become politicized now. And we had de Blasio and the Attorney General and the governor saying, we won't tolerate hate. Everything that the politicians described about that Proud Boys fight totally relates to the Antifa fight. We will not tolerate hate in our town, randomly attacking someone because of their views. Yeah, guys, you're right, but you got the wrong fight. So the trial happens, a total clown world shit show. I am all over the trial as predicted. That's why I quit the Proud Boys, so they wouldn't be able to use me in this trial. They used me anyway, and they made up stories. Like at one point, there's a black conservative that comes on defending the Proud Boys, and the DA says, do you think it's funny when Gavin McInnes describes Obama as a monkey? I've never said that in my life. And the black conservative stand goes, well, not really, not in that context. They had this Antifa journalist who they showed a picture of her giving Trump Tower the finger. The defense did, to show that she's not a reliable source. She starts having a panic attack and screaming, I recognize my Rolex watch. Like, that's the level. They had the ADL in there. No one takes the ADL seriously. Law enforcement isn't supposed to listen to the ADL anymore. But they're in the...
Hang on. That'll let you further know what class these people are in. This bitch is wearing a Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Bitching about the patriarchy and white supremacy.
Well, yeah, so these...
Wearing a Rolex watch, bitching about white supremacy and You're wearing a Rolex watch. Do you know how many people on Earth have a Rolex watch? Like, probably, like, it's in the low millions. Very, very low. And I bet it's lower than that.
Yeah, you might be hundreds of thousands, and they're expensive.
Maybe
you know what? Maybe it was a knockoff.
No, it's my Rolex watch.
That's what she says, but I'd have to listen to it first.
I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying though, like you're wearing a Rolex watch and you're part of Antifa and you're fighting against white supremacy.
Well, and these people are also we know this. They're the useful idiots that are delusional. They think that as soon as they institute their classless society, that everybody's gonna like live in big houses and have all these nice things, and they don't realize that the concept of limited resources and scarcity. They don't bring that up. It's not. They don't know what an economics is. So yeah, to them, it's perfectly fine if they're rich, spoiled babies, because they're just fighting to make everybody as rich and spoiled as they are.
Well, they can't be rich, and not everybody can be as rich and spoiled as fucking they are.
But they think so. They think that's the case.
Like, that's not how shit. I'm so fucking tired. I'm so tired of this fucking nonsense. I am so fucking tired of fucking dealing with these fucking morons. Like, at what point do we start trebucheting motherfuckers into the goddamn fucking ocean?
There's a reason that socialists almost always stick to moral arguments and stay away from anything related to economics, because they just don't really have any economic arguments.
Well, they try.
Well, they're like capitalism is the cause of every bad thing that ever happened, and all those bad things will stop if we implement socialism. They're like, well, how would that actually work? Like, how you start asking like real questions, like really, like who would have figured out how to make a fucking pencil in a socialist economy? And they just start scratching their head, and they don't get it. They'll say stuff like, well, people will still do that stuff because they'll get status in society. And I'm like, you fundamentally don't understand human nature. That's fantastic. Hey. On top of not understanding economics, you just think that everybody will do the same shit that they're doing with no incentive structure whatsoever. That's fanciful. That's great.
Yo, memes of destruction. What up, man? Like, fucking man, listen, I understand what it's like. I do. I get what it's like. Like, the gynocentrism is fucking strong in the older generations. Like, it's fucking terrible. And that's why we have these problems. That's how they're getting away with all this bullshit. They have, NutriBastard, what up, man? They have figured out the code, okay? They have understood the motherfucking code, and they started, like, changing how, like, they fucking act in order to fucking defeat everybody else's way of thinking and take advantage of fucking like what everybody cares about. That's why like they make these fucking giant ass trials and shit. And I mean, we're like the one we're about to cover, which I think is fucking ridiculous. Thomas Bird, man, what up here? Have a motherfucking wrench, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's why like I really do think that these fucking people like they operate on a level that it's fucking terrible. And on top of that, like I think that these like the MGTOW shit and all that stuff has it figured out. Like we have to stop caring about some things that we care about and get back to a better mentality, because we are completely exposed if we keep thinking the way we're fucking thinking. Legitimately, it scares the shit out of me. Like it really does, because these old fucks, like either they have to die or they have to change the way of thinking. And I'm thinking they probably are just gonna all have to die before things get better. Yo.
In the trial. And
yeah,
now
I'm just gonna finish this video up.
Are facing 15 years. One of them, by the way, is already in prison. He's jail. Sorry, he's in Rikers doing 40 weekends. Jeffrey Young. His dad was a cop. His dad said, "What? You were barely in the fight. This is just a stupid barroom brawl with guys that started it." And the reporting on the trial was even more clown world. At one point, John keeps telling the reporters to get out of his face, and he goes like this. The photographer gets nice and low and gets a shot to make the hand look higher, and accused him of giving a Roman salute. And when Rolling Stone was reporting on it, they must have spent like a day photoshopping my image to look sinister. And the sentencing hasn't happened yet. We're appealing it. I'd love to start a fundraiser, but we can't, because this video will get taken down and the fundraiser will get closed down, because you're not allowed to have legal representation. You're not allowed to pay for your appeal to try to get some sense into the courtroom. That's not... Jeffrey Dahmer can have legal representation. Harvey Weinstein can, but not patriotic Trump supporters. And I'm reminded of that NBC interview with the couple.
All right. Yeah, he has nothing else to say on that issue. There's the other problem. They tried to put up a GoFundMe, right? It's a picture of one of the dudes with his black wife taken down, right? Like all the internet fundraising platforms just nixed it immediately. And the same thing happened when we talk about, yes, folks, we're going to talk about the infamous James Fields, the man behind the wheel of the Dodge Charger in Charlottesville.
This is the one that like really bugged the shit out of me.
Did you even know any of this shit about the case or the trial? Like, because like I said, you can't look this up. You can't say James Field unequal justice in Google. Fuck, I'll even try doing it. Right, James Fields unequal justice. Oh wait, this is DuckDuckGo. Right, so.
Yeah, you gotta go to Google.
Well, it still didn't show up, right?
Yeah,
missing unequal, right? Like it exists. There's stuff up there. They don't want to show you this article. They don't want you to know any. There's no article you can look at that talks about the court case and tries to give him a fair shake. And nobody's sitting here saying, before we get into this, we are not denying that this guy is a neo-Nazi. He absolutely was. What my concern is, and this is why I showed those other videos for some context, is that all of a sudden, whether or not society thinks you belong in the good people or the bad people determines how the law is applied. And that is fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I want to live in a country where a neo-Nazi gets the same treatment under the law as a fucking saint.
Okay, well, that's a problem, right? You can't have that in our criminal justice system in general, right? Because you have juries, you know what I mean? So like a jury is going to look at somebody and go, we don't like this person, so you're going to be found guilty because you don't like that.
Yeah, so I get that, except for they grossly overcharged him. Right, and they would have been able to make the case that they overcharged him, right? Because here's the issue. We can go through this article. I really just want to put up some points, right? So they tried to charge him with first-degree murder, which means they would have had to proven that he shows up. He planned beforehand that he was going to show up there and he was going to kill somebody, right? It had to be premeditated. Yeah. And they were going to give him the death penalty. Like let's just go through it, right? So one of the things the government or his shitty lawyers did try is to get the trial moved, because it's the Charlottesville government that enabled the violence on a mass scale, right? That was a terrible, terrible police work. They had stand down orders. They let it all happen, right? The people that are designed to keep order in these situations, are designated to keep order in the situations, were ordered to just let it all happen. Let the chaos ensue, right? Initially, he had an attorney that was a Republican, but the judge removed, because it was a public defender. So the judge removed that public defender because he was also part of the lawsuit that was to trying to prevent the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue. Right. So the guy might have found some common grounds with the dude, even if the kid was a neo-Nazi. And he's a kid too.
Hang on. The fuck does that matter? That's not a conflict of interest in any way, shape, or form.
That's what the judge thought. So
that's not a conflict of interest. Like, it's only a conflict of interest if, like, there's money involved for the fucking guy, and like him getting fucking and him standing here being whatchamacallit. You know what I mean? Him being convicted.
That's great. So what lawyer is going to bring that up to the judge? He doesn't have one, so there's nothing he can do.
Like, the only like, if he would have sandbagged, like, say if he was part of a lawsuit to get the fucking the statue removed, right? Then he would have fucking actually been, like, whatchamacallit, he would have ended up actually being, a problem. Then at that point he has a conflict of interest. Because then, like, the guy actually, like, if the kid gets fucking locked up, then it makes a lawsuit look better because somebody murdered somebody in the name, and they could have said, no, there are Nazis out here defending this. Like, that's a whole different animal. Like, how does this, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is this helping that fucking lawyer?
Yeah, well, here's what he got. He got a Democrat named Delise Lunsford, whose lackluster defense and refusal to aggressively question any of the witnesses astonished observers.
Astonished observer. Like, how do you get astonished as a court observer? Wow.
Yeah, and then when the defense did move for some charges to be dismissed, the judge, Richard Moore, declared in open court that he didn't know what intent he could have had other than to kill people. The determining intent's a point of trial, right? So the judge was biased going into this. That's all there is to it. That is a question of fact that the court is supposed to discover, and the judge in open court before the trial already says that, like, he has prejudice because he doesn't understand what other intent he could have had.
Yo, hold up. We got royalty in our motherfucking chat right now. God damn it, the Dump and Adonis Paul is here. Motherfucking AP, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, come to the Discord. You know where the fuck I'm at, man. You can motherfucking bring your ass the fuck over here. Real shit. Like, bring your ass the fuck over here. You want to motherfucking stand here, and like, have a conversation. Who the fuck called who a commie? We got motherfucking royalty out this bitch, nigga. Like,
pretty sure you have the keys, so if you want to drop in, you can whenever you want.
Yeah, man, always. You know what I mean? But anyway, is Giga here? I didn't even see Giga. Where's Giga at?
He's posing. It's the Dump Channel 14.
Oh, all right. What up, Giga? Like, nigga, stop shilling on my chat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you block motherfuckers? Like, you can't really block. I think you can block people. Like, you can just go to their, like, left click on their joint and block it, I think. I'm not sure. But either way, like, yeah. What up, Giga? How the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? We love Giga over here. You know the situation. Anyway, so where are we at? We were talking about some shit.
We were talking about how the judge before, like, so part of the fact finding of the trial is for the to determine intent, right? That's a question for the jury, and the judge already had the answer, right? And he declared it in open court. That's totally improper.
Yeah.
Any lawyer worth their salt would have, objected or taken that. Like, that enough probably would have been grounds to warrant an appeal at a different venue. If he had a lawyer that gave a shit, right? His lawyers told him, well, you should just take the plea bargain, which is just life in prison instead of the fucking death penalty, right? They were trying to give him the death penalty.
Yo, look, all right, you have to prove that somebody went there to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, like, no, not even really. Like, you can get the death penalty in a case where it wasn't premeditated. Like, you can get a death penalty in a case where, like, you saw an opportunity and then you just murdered somebody.
Yeah, let's keep going through this, because it becomes very clear that there's plenty of reasonable doubt, more than enough reasonable doubt, when it comes to the idea that he went there to murder people. So it's outlandish to say Fields did nothing wrong. There's almost no scenario where you can kill or hit somebody with your car, accidentally or otherwise, and not have the law involved. Fields was accused in the past of attacking his mother and was clearly troubled.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Yeah. Negligent homicide, hardly a trivial sin, may well have been warranted, so that's another option. And it was enabled by Fields' own poor decisions. Like, I agree with all this, right? It's incredible that Fields decided to drive anywhere near the crowd after that chaotic, violent morning. Of course, he may well have gotten lost, easy to do in Charlottesville, and state police had tear gas alt-right demonstrators, but casually turned streets over to the leftist mob during a supposed state of emergency. Some armed with rifles, then reportedly shut down streets and even set up roadblocks. Yet even for the most...
Wait. I mean, because he did post up that fucking meme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
so other people have posted that too, right? Like,
yeah,
that was part of one of the things they admitted into evidence. But there's plenty of other things that make it pretty obvious that his intent was to get back to Ohio.
Oh yeah, they said he had his GPS programmed on ways to get back to Ohio.
He had checks written out. He gave himself up, right? So yeah, the entire trial seemed disconnected from what actually happened that day. The defendant's socially disturbing behavior leads to his conviction rather than anything that he actually did.
Well,
here's where they talk.
Here's the part that bugs me, right? Here's the part that bugs the shit out of me. When the jury came back with a recommendation of a life sentence plus 419 years, that's the part that boggles my brain, right? How do you first degree murder, 70 years for each count of malicious wounding, and then 20 years for each count of malicious wounding?
Yeah, he has a 419-year sentence.
409? No, yes. Yo, wait. No, that's 439 years because life is 20.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's 439 fucking years because the life sentence is 20 years. Right? So I have never seen something so goddamn fucking ridiculous. Life plus 419 fucking years. Like, bruh, in such a ludicrous goddamn fun, like, I can't even believe I use the word ludicrous, but in such a fucking ludicrous situation, like, where, like, there were people surrounding your fucking car and blocking goddamn traffic and shit.
That's right.
Yeah, and there were people with guns, one of which was bragging about waving him off with his AR-15 before he finally, rammed into the crowd. I don't know. Here's where they go over the evidence that could have proved his murderous intent, right? So he sent a text to his mother saying, "We're not the ones who need to be careful." He also had a picture of Hitler. I mean, which is, I guess, but it's no more extreme than the communist flags that are proudly carried out by Antifa, like this author says. But yeah, saying we're not the ones who need to be careful. Anybody that knows what's going on, like, he understands that if, you know, like, he's planning on fighting back if there's violence, right? That's really what he's saying. He knows that there's going to be people there that are going to start shit, right? You got two groups of people that literally hate each other. Once again, it's not a surprise, and there's no way a reasonable person, given context, would understand that. And I mean, I think that's a pretty weak argument.
Yeah.
Then he also, he had a
have you looked at the chat recently, son?
Scooby331's alt account.
Yeah.
Yeah, Agent Inzaria is coming for you, Pnoid.
Yeah, I'm concerned right now.
Yeah, I'd be scared too.
I'm terrified at the moment.
I haven't heard from him for a little bit, so.
Yo, you know they doxed my homie here recently, right?
Yeah, and I also saw that shit about Mines where, you know, Scooby found out Scooby likes it up the ass. but he doesn't like just being a cum bucket, so.
All right, yo, back to the article. Sorry, man, I just saw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Fields also called his mom from prison, saying, you know, he said some stuff about they're the enemy, like, you know, they're communist. But in that same conversation, he was protesting to his mom that he was being attacked, and he said that he never meant to hurt anybody. Then, yeah, here's the meme, right? These jokes of running over protesters were relatively common before Charlottesville. There's actually laws in Charlottesville that there's laws in certain places that have introduced bills to protect drivers who run over protesters. Yeah, this is after the LA riots. Instapundit's Glenn Reynolds was attacked for saying "run them down" about a 2016 protest in Charlotte. Trapping people in their cars is a real threat too. That's something that came from the Washington Post, right? So even the Washington Post realized that surrounding a car and if you were being surrounded by people in your car, you were probably
unlawful detention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, you can't just trap somebody somewhere, bro. That's illegal as fuck. That's literally that's like taking somebody and throw them in a trunk or in a closet or some shit. Like, yo, that is completely illegal. Like, you don't have any authority to do that shit. Like, you're just a fucking common ass protester. And anybody has a right to fucking defend themselves if you're illegally motherfucking being held against your fucking will. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yo, if somebody got kidnapped and they murdered their kidnapper and ran the fuck away, like, you don't get charged with murder for that.
Yeah, so as a matter of law, if any of these people ended up running over a protester later in life, the things that they said about running over protesters in the past could be used as evidence that they did it on purpose.
Yeah, I'm saying this right now. Like, yo, look, real shit. Like, you trap me in my motherfucking car or in my truck or whatever the case might be, you are getting ran the fuck over. Like, that shit's gonna happen. Like, yo, and you have every right to do so. You're not allowed to trap people legally.
Yep. Well, and this is where they're going. So, in the courtroom, right? Like outright lies were told. They described the crowd of leftist protesters as joyful, which was not the case. You can watch the videos, right? There's plenty of video footage to show that they were far from joyful. They were there. They were pissed off, throwing fucking, like, they were bear macing people. Some of them had clubs. Like, they were picking fights. We saw it all day. Most of the time, it was the left that started. Like, they were blocking entrance to the park where they were, you know, the people that actually had a permit to be there. So yeah, like, that's complete nonsense.
Yo, this is utter, like, you can't shut down streets. Like, legally, like, this is why we have permits, all right? Because, like, yo, if you're gonna shut down the street, you have to have, like, ways for people to get around, because legally you're not allowed to trap people inside of their home. Like, you're not allowed to be a live-in fucking prisoner and shit.
Yeah, well,
like, real shit.
So here's the evidence that I think is much stronger than all these circumstantial things that are really just say more about his repugnant beliefs than they do about any notion that he showed up there to kill people. He'd enter directions into his phone to find his way home to Ohio, which seems pretty nuts for somebody that was planning on running through a crowd of protesters. He also gave himself up willingly, like he pulled over to the side of the road. And then when the police told him that somebody had died, he started crying, right? Because you have to remember, he's like 20. This is a kid. Like, he doesn't know shit, and he grew up poor, right? Like, if this was this is a poor, like, by definition, a poor white kid. Anyway, God. So, he immediately slammed the brakes after the collision, did not go onto the side product, and backed up only after being set upon by attackers.
Ryan said check the fucking Streamlabs. I checked them. I don't have anything in there from you, bro. Real shit. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I checked them and there's nothing there. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if you donated, it didn't come to me. You should probably hit the link in the motherfucking description if you donated to me, my brother. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
I don't know who you donated to.
I've been trying to summarize this article. I don't think we need to go through the rest of it. That hits all the points. Like, it's complete fucking nonsense what happened to that kid. Like, should he be in jail? Yes. Should he have gotten 419 years as a plea?
No.
Yeah, and the only reason the only reason anyone would take that plea is the reason he did it. And it's because if it went to trial and his lawyers, who were already shit, had to defend him, he would have gotten the death penalty. That's it.
I legitimately don't think you could have got the death penalty. Outlaw, what's up, man? You know what I'm
with
saying?
how incompetent his lawyers were, they weren't even trying to defend him. Like I wouldn't even be surprised, because I know how incestuous the city law is. I guarantee the lawyers and the prosecutors, they talked and they're just like, yeah, we're going for the death penalty, but really we just want a plea bargain for life in prison. And they're like, okay.
Like, man, listen, like, real shit. I would have took that shit to trial all day long, right?
Of course, but what do you expect a 20-year-old kid to do? And there's nobody that's gonna help him, right?
I don't know. I think somebody would have.
No, he's in the news. The story behind him is he's basically the second coming of Hitler, right?
Yeah.
And like, as soon as somebody took up, like, justice for James Fields, right, they would just be attacked and their career would be over.
Well, let's be perfectly real here about shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, like, if you would have took this to fucking trial, there's no way you would have got life in prison, right? There's no way you would have got the death penalty, because none of the standards would have been met. Yes, I'm absolutely sure.
Are you sure that the defense would have even tried to put up the case?
Yes. I bet you would have got a better deal. You think he would have got a much better deal if he would have fucking said, I'm going to trial.
You think his lawyer, maybe. Not to mention that, but the case was in Charlottesville too, so that's the other thing. Like,
it doesn't matter.
I think it would have been hard to find a jury that would be fair to him, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the point. I mean, I'm not saying that you wouldn't have had to, like, babysit the shit out of that, but, like, and that's kind of the point. Like,
yeah, a lot of people I don't think his lawyers would have done it.
I think they would have. I think they would have been forced to. You know what I mean? Because if it had literally came out that he went to trial and they blew trial on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would have had all day to appeal this shit, and he would have gotten an appeal, and fucking it would have went to a higher court, and he would have got the fuck off.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the fucking plea bargain. I keep telling people, never take the fucking plea bargain.
Yeah,
never take a fucking plea bargain unless like you are dead to rights. Like, yo, never take a plea bargain.
For him to know that, though, he would have had to have somebody to be real legal counsel, or he would have had to have known to request another public defender, right? Like, because you can do that. He has the ability to say, look, this person's not even trying, so give me somebody else.
Yo, like here's like because this is kind of the situation. This is really where I get down to, right? So I gotta say that, how do I put this? All right, look, they're gonna charge you with extra shit every time you go. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, all right? Like, it doesn't matter. You're a dude. They're gonna stand here and charge you with like 8 different fucking crimes that are all kind of the same thing at different levels, right? And the reason why they're standing here doing that shit, all right, legitimately, the reason why is because they're sitting here trying to get you to cop to that plea, right? That's what they really want. They don't want to have to go to trial, because if they go to trial, then that means all the bullshit comes out in the motherfucking open. And that means that, like, you have the right to stand here and question your accusers. And if your lawyer does not fucking question your accusers the way they need to, right? And if you won't have the, how do I put this? If you don't have like the best fucking legal defense you possibly fucking can, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna end up standing here like fucking getting a really good fucking way to have a fucking appeal. And this kid would have known this if he was in jail when he was fucking sitting there. If he was going through this in jail, somebody would have told him this shit. Legitimately. Anybody in the world.
Maybe. I mean, he wasn't the brightest fucking bulb.
I understand this, you know what I mean?
But like I said, kid, right? Kid.
Yeah, see, that's the bitch, man. It's like, yo, when you're getting nailed at 20 years old, you really don't know shit about nothing. Like, this is all stuff I learned on my way
and
through.
this is why, like, if I'm gonna say, am I sympathetic to neo-Nazis? No, I'm sympathetic to 20-year-olds that find themselves in a bad crowd, right? If this was some young black kid from the projects that got involved in gang activity, you would have all sorts of leftist social justice warriors just being like, man, it's not fair, the system's racist, the deck was stacked against him from the beginning. Like, this dude grew up with a crippled mother in an impoverished home. He was mentally fucking ill. He showed up to a place, got in over his head, panicked, became the face of evil in America overnight. And, you know, the state tried to fucking give him the death sentence for it. Right? I mean, he was scared shitless. Of course he's going to take the plea.
Yo, Roman, what up, man? You say you wanted to join. You got some shit you want to put in? Yo, Roman, stop breathing on the damn bike so hard. Roman.
All right, Roman, yeah, fix your mic and shit.
Yeah, there we go. All right, put him back.
But part of this is
he said he wanted to come in. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, maybe he had something to say. Yeah, I know the situation. Anybody wants to hop on can always go to the motherfucking Discord and fucking hop in the goddamn waiting room, and I will most definitely drag you in. You can have a conversation with us. But like, yeah, I mean, at 20 years old, and you know, like, people are gonna say like we're defending him because he's white. Like, yo, I do the same exact shit for everybody. Y'all know that.
Well, that's why I just brought up the opposite situation, man. Like, asking for leniency for being young, fucking stupid, falling into the right crowd, right? Like, that we do that all the time. That's part of the justice system. I mean, isn't that what criminal justice reform was all about?
Yeah. I mean, like, not only that, but the other half of this is that, like, this crime that he committed inside of a vehicle, right? It's different if, like, he was driving on a fucking sidewalk, right?
Yeah, they said that on there. Like, if he really just wanted to mow down as many people as possible, he wouldn't have been driving 25. He wouldn't have slammed the brakes. He wouldn't have turned himself in and started crying when he found out somebody got hurt. Like, the whole trial was a sham, right? It was, his fate was sealed before. I mean, as soon as he panicked, his life was over. His entire life is done for. He's never gonna be back in polite society again. He's gonna be behind bars for the rest of his fucking life. All because, and it's all because of politics. Like, the reason I named the stream "Defending the Indefensible" is people look at this and they're like, why are you defending a Nazi that killed somebody? We're defending a principle, and the principle is equal justice, right? So on one side, we have these Antifa goons that are, beating people up and stealing their shit, getting all their charges dropped. On the other side, we have the Proud Boys getting into a fight, like a bar brawl, they're trying to get 50 years in prison and tying it to gang related activity. And even the guy in Charlottesville, man, the thing that the left always likes to go back to, just being like, yeah, you tell me white supremacy's not a problem and Heather Hayer's dead. Like, I don't know how many fucking times I've heard that line. And even in that case,
I've never heard that line. But then again,
I've heard. They'll say shit like "remember Charlottesville," like stupid virtue signaling like that. And I was like, yeah, the thing to remember there is really that we just lack any respect for the principle of equal justice, right? We decided that this person was a villain and that the facts don't matter.
Well, like, I mean, that's kind of half of it, right? It's the other half of this is like, because like, I mean, this is the same as like a lot of other shit that we have to on a regular basis fucking go through in our criminal justice system, where like you'll have people who prosecutors have way too much fucking control. And I wrote about this in my goddamn book. I wish I still have my fucking book. That is so aggravating. I don't fucking have that shit no more. But I wrote about this in my book, and I said fucking like, the goddamn fucking prosecutors are elected officials. You know what I mean? And they're elected through, winning like fucking cases and shit. And when you have to have wins, like, you're gonna do extracurricular shit in order to get fucking elected on a regular, fucking every goddamn fucking election cycle. So it's kind of like, that's why you have all these plea bargains. Like, they would stop charging people with crimes if they'd stop fucking accepting these plea bargains.
Yeah, you'd stack up the court system.
You know what I mean? Because you'd have to only give a shit about certain fucking crimes. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to raise the fucking bar if you took everything to the fucking mattresses.
Frank, I just want to say I agree. There's actually no such thing as equal justice under the law. I mean, it used to be money is everything, but I don't like the fact that there's obviously a political bias even in the legal system.
Yes, I can hear you now. What you got for us, man? Roman. Yeah, we heard you. Verse on.
Now your shit's fucked again, dude.
Wait, let me try.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. What you got?
Too loud or too quiet?
You're good. Go ahead. Man, speak.
No, wait, can you hear me?
Say words. Yeah, you're good. Say words.
Hey, I'm just checking because there's been a big issue with my mic. Okay. Talk about the Charlottesville, right?
Yeah.
What were we arguing about? Because they missed the whole entire thing.
Yeah, we weren't really arguing about it. It's just more along the lines, like fucking like they're charging this guy for 419. They gave him 439 years in jail for running that bitch over. And is that
you talking about the one that rode the car and the Nazis and that type of stuff? Yeah, him.
Yeah.
It was only one person who got rode over.
Yes, only one person died. Other people were injured.
5 people got injured. One broad died.
If you would have caught the stream, the issue is not that the dude didn't do anything wrong. I think it would have been very hard to prove that it was pure self-defense. The issue is that they tried to charge him with first degree murder, which means it was premeditated. He set out to go there to kill people, and the facts of the situations didn't warrant that charge. And he's also a 20-year-old kid that doesn't know shit, so he ended up taking a plea deal that gave him life in prison instead. Well, yeah, it's fucking 10 life sentences or some shit.
He didn't mean to kill people?
No, when he got pulled over, he said and found out that people were hurt. He started crying and said he didn't want to hurt anybody.
Okay, I'll have to read more, but yeah, you can keep going without me for a little bit. If I have a point, I'll tell you.
I got you. Yo, and I want to address the chat real quick. Victor, look here, man. everybody in my motherfucking chat has an opportunity to have a voice. That's why, like, that's why you're out there and shit. And I mean, and we listen to everybody's point of view, and we're always here to educate and make individuals better. That's kind of the whole point of this motherfucking channel. We got fucking love for people. Existential Knight here has been on the stream before, and he's fucking awesome, and he fucking has really decent opinions, as do you, Mr. Victor Von Frankenstein. It just depends on which way you're coming from. Just like, let's be frank, all of y'all come from a different motherfucking way of thinking. And that's what makes this fucking place amazing, is because like we get it from all angles. And Tom Pease is just looking for the truth and the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? And when I find those, I share them with you. Like we did today with that video about fucking Colt no longer making fucking rifles anymore. Why? Because they're overpriced. And they're getting priced out of the market by people who's doing it much, much cheaper. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with them. Your gig is over here chilling out black.com. Yo, I love Giga. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And that's kind of where it's at, bro. And how do you get money? Streamlabs, man. In the fucking description, hit the Streamlabs, like I said, streamlabs.com/Pnoid news. Right? You go there, you come on, fucking, man. We take I think PayPal and credit cards, either way you want to go. And I mean, and you know, we take all donations. It's always appreciated. Thank you, Excel. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah, if you want serious conversation, you can hop on the stream or hop in the Discord. He knows where we are. He's in the Discord. Me and him speak on a regular basis. We all speak. I make sure that my fans have access. Anybody that wants to talk to me can always talk to me at all times. And I mean, and we got love for everybody here. That's why I like, you know what I mean? I always make sure that when I have a chance, you know what I'm saying, I shout out what the hell y'all are talking about, and I address shit in the motherfucking chat, because that's what's important. You know what I'm saying? We here to make motherfuckers better. We are not here to shut down opinions. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to shut down things. We're just trying to make sure that we're right when we talk.
So on that note, do we want to see how drunk Golden Bonnie is?
Yeah, let's see how drunk Golden Bonnie is.
What's up, Golden Bonnie?
He's that drunk.
Yep, there we go.
Hey, now what? Whoa. I'm not drunk.
You're not drunk. God damn it.
I'm not drunk yet.
I'm just giving you shit. We were really enjoying the last time you were on the stream with both me and Tom Pnoid. Because you were so fucking wasted out of your mind that I think eventually we just had to like put you in timeout. But I was just happy because I wasn't the drunkest person on the stream for once.
Oh, nice.
Y'all need to quit drinking liquor like a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sober tonight, so.
God damn, man. That's how serious, you know, Work's whooping Excel's ass when he's like, yo, fuck drinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, didn't you want to get into that, or did you already kind of cover that at the beginning of the stream? You said you had some real life shit to talk about. Well,
that was kind of the real life shit, is that, you know what I mean, like fucking, you know, like work is motherfucking, like work's a pain in the ass. And I know you have that shit at your job where like motherfuckers come up to you and like, you know, like how it should be done, but like fucking they tell you to do it another goddamn way because that's what they want.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, fuck it, I gotta do what I gotta do and keep this paycheck coming.
Yeah, you can try to push them in the right direction, like by being nice, but at the end of the day, they'll say, no, I want to see this. And I'm like, okay.
You know, like, yeah, you know what I mean? You just do what the fuck they ask you to do and move forward, you know, like, and I think that's something that like a lot of our, you know, I mean, younger individuals would probably benefit from, right? And I mean, in particular, like, you know, like guys like Roman, you know, I mean, who are going to end up in the workforce. Like, yo, when somebody tells you to do something, just fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't. There's no need to fight with them.
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, Tom Pnoid's going to fight with them, but that's Tom Pnoid. For most people, they're not going to get away with it.
Yeah, look, I get away with it way less than I used to. You know what I mean? I'll be real with you. Like, I get away with it way, way less than I used to. When I was younger, like, it was a whole different thing, because back in the day, they used to tell us that, like, yo, the workforce was, you know what I mean, a place where if you have an ability and you have skill, you can get by on a regular basis. You can get by really well. And people will reward you for having skill and ability and being the best at what you do. But it's not like that anymore.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. It depends on where you're working. I'm going to say my job's been... My work, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of really good immediate bosses and a company that, I mean, part of it is, I mean, you know what I do. Part of it is it's specialized enough that they prefer being like, look, this guy's got a skill set that I think we can utilize somewhere else, and that kind of already understands part of the business, and moving them up and along.
Yeah, but like you can move up, but like
dude,
kind of the point. They want you to be replaceable though. They don't want you to like fucking be at a level where like they can't fucking replace you.
Yeah, well, I'm at that level.
Oh yeah, man. You got to be expendable. I mean,
well, it sucks because there's all right. So, in my experience in the corporate world, that is absolutely true for the bottom couple levels of employees, right? It's absolutely true. But then they get up to these people that like, hey, we really need these people to have like a lot of expertise in a certain area, or else we ain't getting money. Or we have things like my job where it takes like a year to get somebody totally up to speed, right? So at the higher levels, like those people seem to not go away. Like once you start reporting directly to VPs, then you have a little bit more job security.
Oh
yeah,
man,
only a little bit.
Victor ran, dude. Then you're just expendable at 2 jobs.
Yeah, right. I mean, like here's the bitch. Like, yo, if you start fighting with the bosses on a regular basis, they'll start training your replacement. And
that's another thing. Make sure you're on everybody that's above you's good side. People below you, fuck them, right? People above you got to be on their good side. And that still goes back to you still just kind of got to do what you're told. But like they're, as long as you're not contentious, like they're like, you do good work and we're going to give you a raise. Like they have no intention of, getting rid of people that are doing good work at that level because they know they're not really expendable.
I was telling a story today to my pops, right, about working at the fucking mill. And I was a machine operator. And on top of that, like, because I'm smart enough, like I memorized so much shit that whenever it was time to do like a big job, like replace a piece or like fucking have a change over to a different size pipe or something, you know what I mean? Like you had to move all the equipment. It was a big fucking, like, it was a mechanical thing. Like you had to sit there and like fucking like unbolt shit with a fucking like 2-inch goddamn impact gun that was 6 foot long and get out these giant ass fucking 6 foot fucking whatchamacallums pipe wrenches to get off these fucking bolts and stuff that were hooked up to cranes. It was a pain in the ass, right? But like the bosses knew I had that ability to do all that stuff, and they put me in charge. Even though like I was, just a basic operator, like they tell the boss to get fucked, and I'd go and do shit. Well, they brought in this engineer, right? And this engineer, college trained motherfucker, he was fucking $100,000 a year guy. I was a $50,000-$60,000 a year guy at that point. And they had this, giant screw that probably was like a foot wide, 50 foot long, and it sheared. And basically had a big carriage that rode out on it. That's why it's screwed. Like it had a big copper nut in the middle of this carriage that would ride up and down on the sides of this plate and plane off the sides of the plate and shit. Well, they ended up shearing off this screw. It broke, because they had like a 2,000 pound electric or 2,000 horsepower electric motor running it. And this 2,000 horsepower electric motor, which you rode in the carriage on this fucking screw, when it busted this screw, they had to go find a new one because they couldn't get one made because it took them like 3 or 4 years to have somebody make it.
Holy
so they
shit.
went, yeah, because it's such a massive piece. Think it's a foot wide screw, just straight fucking stainless steel, right? And on top of that, it's hardened stainless steel, like fucking military grade shit. And then on top of that, like it's fucking, it's 50 foot long, done the precise fucking specifications.
I wonder how much a piece like that would set you fucking back.
Well, I know that like the piece that they went and got and they bought from some like broke down machine, broke down fucking plant that they found it at was like $4,000 just for like one that was just sitting there for 30 years and all rusted.
Fucking used one.
Yeah, right. But here's the thing: like it had a carriage sitting in the middle of it. This fucking like 1,400 pound carriage with all the fucking hydraulic oil in the bottom of the vats and shit and tools on it. So as you can imagine, it ended up fucking sitting here like having a big bow in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Because like it would like had a carriage sitting in the middle of this giant ass screw. So fucking, they brought the screw up. They put it on the fucking flatbed, brought it up here. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up fucking taking it, and we set it across these skids on the floor. You know what I mean? With a fucking overhead crane. You know what I mean? I think the screw itself weighed something like 32,000 pounds, something along these type of lines, right? And I'm looking at this fucking screw. I'm looking at the screw after I got everything torn down. We got the old screw out. You know what I mean? We're about to put the new one in. I look at it and I go over to the owner. I go, dude, you put that in there with that fucking bend, it's gonna end up jump roping and breaking the whole thing to pieces. And I'm not doing this stuff again. And the owner goes over to the engineer, and the engineer goes, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. And the owner comes over and goes, sure, Tom? I was like, yeah, it's gonna be what it is. Right? He said, all right, so fucking put it in. He said, put it in anyway, right? Fucking I put it in, fucking sat there, got everything bolted down, fucking did all my job the way I was supposed to do it. Fucking they ran it down the first time. This motherfucker jump roped, right? Just shattered the whole fucking machine to pieces. Like just busted everything. And like fucking I looked at the owner. Owner said, all right, buddy, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And I got fucking a full paycheck for 2 fucking weeks sitting at home fishing. Like, yo,
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but none of that mattered. You know what I mean? Like, yo, in the end of the day, none of that shit fucking mattered. I still got bagged from that fucking job, dude. It doesn't matter how good you are, what you do.
So, so here's another thing that you got to understand when you're working someplace. I don't know how big that company was, right? Like how many people machinists they had and whatnot.
Like, let's say 400 or 500.
There you go. All right, so here's my example. When I worked in a warehouse when I was younger, I eventually got essentially laid off, but it's because I'd worked there for 4 years and I'd gotten a lot of good raises. Their layoffs were basically, just cut everybody that makes a lot of money. But the way they're thinking is that even if I'm 50% more productive than the average employee, there's like 100 of me, right? So getting rid of me doesn't really change their average that much as far as production goes. But when you start getting to positions now where there's, 3 people, all of a sudden they got to think twice because, they have to replace that productive capacity and it's expensive to start over.
Mm-hmm.
So, understanding... Even if you are the best person at your job, if there's a lot of other people that can do your job, you're expendable, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter what you do for the fucking, for the plant.
Yeah,
I had this
if
owner.
you were working for a small business.
I had an owner of the company. I was about to get bagged one time, right? Because I was leaving early and coming in late to go to AA and shit because I had like fucking developed a drinking problem and I had to get it squared away. So I ended up standing here, going in, and like the owner comes over and goes, "What the fuck's going on?" I'm like, "Go look, man. I told my last 2 fucking bosses who you fired in the past 2 weeks that I've fucking been going over here to rehab trying to get shit squared away." And he goes, "You didn't fill out any FMLA paperwork?" I said, "What the fuck is that?" He said, "Get the fuck out of here. Go back to work. Fucking, I got it all. I'll take care of it for you." And that's a level that I was on with the owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like that with the owner, and I still got bagged.
That sucks, dude. That really bites.
And so
shit.
What's funny is it's not even necessarily about like the skill level of how many people could potentially do your job. If you're working for a small business and there's only holy shit, you got some Uncle Tomahawks.
Oh shit.
Before I read that, going back to my point, if there's only like if you have a boss and they've only got 4 employees. Like they're gonna be considering before letting you go if they can really afford to do it, right? Like how far you can push your boundaries is directly related to how much it's gonna cost to replace you. Even if it's easy to find a replacement, it still costs money to hire somebody new and get them up to speed.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And like the bitch is that like it was always a fucking situation where they stood here. What the fuck, man? Like, I already did all this shit. Man, listen.
Okay,
maybe I'm in the wrong one.
I just got Ryan's fucking Streamlabs too.
I don't know. Like my Streamlabs is all retarded. It says like I'm not like logged in. It's like it says like I'm like it has all my subscribers on it, but like it doesn't say I'm like hooked
All
up
right,
to
well,
PayPal or anything. I
we
don't
got-
fucking know.
We got $14.88. Man, I just still don't understand why people like the year 1488 so much.
I don't know either.
Because it's awesome.
And he asked, "Can we get an HH in the chat for Heather Hare?" And then Norman donated $1 to say Unity.
Unity.
Unity. All right, then.
That's a great song by Operation Ivy.
Man, I see. What is this? There's a new Rambo, Last Blood or Final Blood or whatever. Talbot Links. I guarantee you they're gonna cuck the fuck out of Rambo and then fucking kill him. Guarantee it. That's my prediction, man. I'm calling it right now. Lock it in.
Is Sylvester Stallone the director? He's been doing good on making movies. I've liked Creed, and I like Creed and Creed 2. I thought those were both pretty good movies.
Yo, Creed
also known
2
as Rocky 7 and Rocky 8.
Yo, Creed 2 almost made me cry. I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys very much for the motherfucking donations and shit. Extension Nightmare. Thank you, Norman. Right? But yeah, you know what I mean? Fucking, I'm going to tell you what, though. It's like 10:30, dude. We've been running for about an hour and a half. And I do believe Frank is waiting to motherfucking fire up. So you want to give him the motherfucking shout out? Or Adonis Paul? Which one?
Wait, what? Frank or Adonis Paul's? I don't know who's going on. What are we talking about?
I know AP's running the Bluntstream tonight, and I think that fucking Frank's about to run a live stream too.
All right, yeah. Well, the Bluntstream goes on at 11 o'clock Central Time. That's a midnight Pnoid time, which is the only time Pnoid understands. And then, yeah, check out Let's Be Frank. He's a friend of the channel, and I don't know if we calling it now.
Yeah, I do believe, man, it's that time of the night. I'm gonna get to drinking this lion's head, you know what I'm saying, and fucking hang out a little bit, and you know what I mean, spend some time and shit, do the type of thing that I have to do, you know what I mean?
Right on. I should probably make dinner myself. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm over here tearing up a cold steak right now.
Nice. I should probably get busy getting trashed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you seem out of sorts, dude. It's kind of weird not hearing you drunk.
I know, right? It's jarring at the very least. I don't feel normal either. There's way too much blood in my alcohol system.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what. Anyway, yeah, man. So, like, tell you what, you guys make sure you check out Let's Be Frank. He's a big supporter of the show. Make sure you check out check out my Twitter, Glass Joe. You know what I'm saying? It's Tom Pnoid. I was is it Pnoid News? It might be. I think it's Pnoid News. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you check that shit out. I'll be out here getting it done. Make sure you're in the Discord. You know what I mean? So you can get all the fucking notifications of all the new stuff that I'm doing. And make sure you check out Let's Be Frank and Adonis Ball's motherfucking Bluntstream. It's goddamn important. You know what I mean? That y'all motherfucking over here supporting our homies. You know what I mean? We're out here getting it done. And make sure you check out Nights at the Coffee Table. That's going to be running on Twitch here soon. I don't know for how long. Probably like about 10 minutes before they kick them the fuck off. You know what I mean?
Is this true?
And hit up the Discord if you're not already in there.
They'll let me type 1488. That's not an issue.
Yo, it's not letting nobody type 1488.
I just did. I'm looking at it.
I'm looking. I don't see yours, but I see mine.
Oh, I can only see my. Oh, that's a. Oh, you tricky YouTube. You tricky.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Great. We found the new way. Instead of showing this comment's been hidden by the YouTube moderation team, it just makes you think that you said whatever you said. And
oh my god, did mine send?
Nope.
No.
Oh wow, dude.
I'm trying to talk about the year 1488 over here in the chat, and YouTube keeps censoring my shit. I don't get it.
Fuck you,
Important
YouTube,
things
man.
happened in the year 1488. Like, I think the Spaniards were in some fucking war, right?
Yeah, some shit like that. Oh
Like,
my
yo,
god, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
Yo, welcome, Mr. Vladimir. You know what I'm saying? Here, I have a goddamn wrench.
Brandon, I'm not even going to try your last name. Brandon here says his disappeared. They've been doing it for about 2 months. So,
man, God, that's messed up, dude. I'm just trying to talk about the Roman Catholic German Emperor Maximilian I getting caught in Belgium in the year 1488. or the Battle of Sashaburn in Scotland. Like, those are important events in history that I can't talk about on YouTube anymore.
Wow, man. Oh my God, this is some 1984 level shit.
Yeah, welcome to the modern day. As I said, man, things ain't what they used to be. But yo, we're
No.
shutting this bitch. Yo, we're shutting this bitch down, man. I want to thank motherfucking Exel for running this. Everybody in the chat for coming out. Golden Bonnie and motherfucking our boy Roman out here for fucking showing up in the motherfucking in the stream in the Discord.
There was nothing to respond to.
Thanks for having me, Tom P.
We left Serious Zone by the time you joined and went into bullshitting.
Damn, seriously, I missed all the fun. Oh, come on.
You always do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it is what it is. Sorry, catch us next time. But
Yeah,
in the meantime, man, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you all for watching. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know the deal. Keep them all fucking tuned here for more shit. Peace, my brothers. Excel, shut this bitch down.